eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.
Yo, how are we all doing? This is the most active I've ever seen the live chat before the streams even started. You guys are going off. There's a lot of people in here and I love it. I love it. I'm so grateful. Thank you all for being here. I'm really excited. Happy 20,000th birthday to me. Today's going to be a really good stream. I've been working hard all day. We have like so many clips to look at. I couldn't believe it, right? So this is an idea that I've been sitting on for a while. I've been wanting to do a video on celebrities UFO encounters. And obviously today we found out that Ozzy Osbourne passed away, RIP. And some clips surfaced of him talking about aliens and UFOs and the congressional hearings and stuff that we've had. So I just thought, you know, why not make the party stream where we just look at all the celebrities and their UFO encounters? Because it's kind of fun. It's not really like, you know, current news, but it's fun. And I think you guys are going to be super surprised by how many celebrities have had a UFO encounter, and like big names as well. It's actually crazy. But yeah, we've been busy today. Been prepping this stream. We got a video out as well. And actually, you know what? It's not a birthday party without presents. For me, not for Suki. Sorry, Suki. She's had a treats today. She's all good. She's fine. Trust me. So this came to me in the mail just today, actually, from one of you guys. Shout out to Slothy. Now, Slothy, if you are in the chat, even if you're not, I'll get the link for your store because this guy makes some really cool stuff. And he sent me this. And it's got a little card. It says, Josh, thanks for all you do. My man, thank you. It's my pleasure. And he makes these really cool wall hanging arts, I guess is the best way to describe them, right? Let me hold this up to see if you guys can see it. The camera's probably not focused super well, but it's like an Egyptian hieroglyphics thing, and you can see there's like an Anubis in the middle. And let me play with the focus here. And you got the little polarity crashed UFO there. Come on. All right. Here we go. And he threw in a couple of little extra ones for me. So he's got the Flower of Life that's on the back of all of your Polarity member badges. And a couple of other things as well. Even the Sigillum Deumeth, the classic Matthew Brown post that went viral. And this one too. Super, super cool. What is it made out of? That's a really good question. Slothy, if you're in the chat, what is it made out of, my brother? If I had to guess, I actually don't know what this material is called. The top is like it's like fabric, so it's like bendable. It's almost kind of like a placemat. Yeah, it's kind of like a placemat or something. The bottom is a bit like felty. Like, no, it's like a mouse pad. That's what it feels like. It feels like a mouse pad, a really thin one. Like smooth on the top and then like material on the bottom. So, yeah. I got some presents. Yay me. We love that. We love presents. So thank you, Slothy. Shout out to him. And yeah, he makes these. And he has a store on Etsy. So when I get a hold of him, I'll make sure. Yeah, neoprene. I reckon you're right, Richo. So when I get a hold of him, I will put his link below so you guys can go and show him some love. All right. Let's get into the show. Totally buying stuff from him. Legend, Mickey. We love the support. This community, I'm telling you. The generosity is unmatched. Everyone gets around each other and supports each other. That's what it's about. I love it. Now, the reason why I was a couple of minutes late today is because I've been putting up decorations for the party, right? Now, obviously, it's a bit of a birthday party for 20,000, but it's also kind of spooky too because Ozzy Osbourne died. So we're going for like a spooky birthday party theme here. All right. And I feel like Ozzy Osbourne is probably the best place to start with our clips. If I had to give you a guess, I reckon we've got about 23 clips to look at. So I should probably stop yapping. Just before I do, we had 2 new members come in before the stream started, which was Gareth Evans and Adam. So shout out to you guys. Welcome to the Weirdos Club. There is new content waiting for you in the members area, and you get access to the members only section of the Discord. And just on Discord, by the way, if you're not already in there, the link is below. Come and hang out. It's free. The members do get their own section though. But after this stream, we're going to be watching a movie in there. So we often stream movies and have movie nights in there. What did we watch the other night? We watched Akira. And we also watched The Matrix. And They Live. They were all great. But tonight, it's either going to be Terminator 1 or Paul. And we're going to vote on it at the end of this stream. But we'll worry about that when we get there. So let's check out this clip of Ozzy Osbourne giving his take on aliens and the congressional hearings.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to meet an alien.
You'd love to meet an alien.
I would love to.
So paint the picture, Ozzy. There's a UFO, an alien comes down, you walk out into your back garden. What do you say? All right, mate.
No, but I mean,
what would you
they don't come here with spacesuits, and so it would be a good idea to follow them because they've got a place
with similar. Maybe there's more than one type. I mean, aliens,
they reckon,
it could be multiple planets.
But they don't have spacesuits. So when we go to the moon or in space, we wear a spacesuit, or we go to Mars, we're going to wear a spacesuit. But they don't. They've got like no eyebrows and all this fucking.
But yeah, that's the thing. The one thing that I struggle with is all the videos. It's all the big elongated head and skinny body and long fingers. It's very
another thing
stereotypical.
Imagine if the UFOs landed and the aliens came out and they came out just like stumbling and mumbling like Ozzy Osbourne. That would be crazy. People would actually be like, oh, actually, maybe we didn't want this.
Why do they have to have 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head?
That's what I'm saying. Why aren't they hopping on one central leg or no legs?
Or like a fucking spider or something,
Yeah.
I believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier. Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries.
Biologics. He seems pretty genuine
or
to me.
non-human biologics.
Never understood a thing the dude said, but he was hilarious.
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on
That's
the program.
unbelievable.
So right there under oath, on the news, were they human or non-human biologics? Non-human. Why is this not the biggest headline in the world?
Because
Right.
they'll probably end up saying he's a nutcase and he had some mental.
Did he look like he did? Don't look
He
like
looked pretty straight to me.
Yeah, and I mean this.
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't say that you're a nutcase for talking about UFOs. Surely not.
Guy, he said, and that has been confirmed by over 40 people that work on the project.
I mean, there you go.
So what are they scared of? Why isn't the headline on the New York Times saying aliens exist?
I don't know. There's got to be. I can't. I've tried, when I watched it on the news the other day, I was like, oh, it's kind of like, is that or out of the way we were all supposed to know?
Right.
Ozzy's about as bamboozled as the rest of us. He can barely get a word out. He's that confused about what the hell is going on here. I think we all feel that. I think we can all feel Ozzy's pain on that one. Yeah, Ozzy, yeah, intelligent. I mean, I feel like okay, this is a theme I think we're going to notice in today's show. A lot of these people that we're looking at, most of them, I would say, are artists. So they're like singers, songwriters, authors, some actors in there as well, which I guess is an artist. I would say it's not the same tier. It's like maybe one below, but they're right up there for sure. 5 gifted memberships from Yoza. Yo, thank you. That is a lovely way to start the stream. Guys, if you just received one of them, make sure you use your manners. Make sure you say thank you. And welcome to the Weirdos Club. Can we get some love hearts in the chat? You guys get all new emojis to use as well. And $20 from Peter. $20 for your 20,000th birthday. Congrats, Josh. I'm celebrating by eating my daughter's birthday cake in bed. Cheers, everyone. Shout out to you, Peter. And I hope that cake is delicious. What flavor is it? I'm a mud or red velvet person myself. Ozzy is a polarity weirdo. Ozzy would 100% be here right now if he could. If he could. Absolutely. All right, next one. I think some of you guys might know about this one. I reckon there's going to be a few that you guys have heard about before, but I'm positive there'll be no one who knows every single one of these clips. No way. The next one we're looking at is Demi Lovato, and she is talking about this experience on Howard Stern, which, if you remember the reptilian video that we did the other day, Howard Stern seems to be a place where people kind of just talk about really weird shit, because there's a couple of clips in today's stream that isn't Billy Corgan talking about a shapeshifter, and it's not Demi Lovato talking to Howard Stern about UFOs.
Demi, what also is going on with you about extraterrestrial life? I don't believe there's anything out there.
I don't know. It's just, I can't fathom that we're the only life in the universe.
Have you met aliens personally?
No, I haven't.
You consider the word alien offensive to extraterrestrials?
Okay, here's the thing about that.
Go ahead.
Someone who is an expert in this field told me that, and then I said it in one interview, and people are like, "Oh my God, she's being so sensitive," and I was like, "No, it's just that's what I was told."
You are a very sensitive woman because you're worried about how the extraterrestrials are feeling about being called aliens.
I call them aliens. I call them aliens.
All right.
Yes.
So this is just a belief. Do you believe the government is hiding evidence from us?
Yes. I haven't seen aliens per se, but I've seen UFOs. I've seen many UFOs.
Okay.
Now,
What did you see and where were you?
So what I do is I will actually meditate and then go
Transcendental meditation?
No, this is
Hey, Demi's doing that CE5 for real. She's doing CE5.
like with the intention of seeing UFOs.
Oh, okay.
So you meditate for like 30 minutes and then you open your eyes and you want to do it someplace of a higher
Yo, Demi's one of us. Literally. Demi is doing CE5. She is a weirdo.
frequency. So like the desert. So you meditate, you open your eyes and you look up. And for my birthday one year, I was like, guys, I really want to do this. Like I was with a group of friends. I was like, can we all meditate? Like, I know it sounds really boring, but I want to do this.
Well, you really do have good friends because I would have been like,
Yes.
you're
My
crazy.
friends are like, whatever you want to do, it's your birthday.
Right.
Okay, cool. So we all of a sudden, within 10 minutes, we look up in the sky and there was this huge orb of light that just appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the sky. It was bigger than any other star in the sky. Then it starts to make like this movement of like a question mark in the sky. And then it gets small and then it just backs out. And I was like, did y'all see that? That's
Did they
what
see
I'm
it?
talking about. Yes, everyone saw it.
Or
People are saying Greer initiated her. I think I can actually vaguely remember Greer dropping her name. And I remember thinking like, oh, that's weird. Like, I didn't know she was like that. And this is the first time since then that I've sort of seen her speak about it, which is awesome. And how good would that have been for her? Like, if her story's true, right? She's saying she got her friends to sit down and meditate to summon something. And she's saying they actually saw like an orb, which is wild. She'd probably feel like an absolute boss.
are they afraid to tell you they haven't seen it?
No, they all saw it. And then there's been other occasions where a light will like appear.
Why are these extraterrestrials all hiding from us? Why don't they come out and like, why do they have to fly around in a question mark? I don't understand why they don't land. Explain that to me.
Maybe they were being symbolic with the question mark.
I don't like it.
Well, I think maybe they're waiting for humanity to come to conclusions on their own rather than just like showing themselves and freaking everybody out. Because, you know, a lot of people would lose their shit if
I would.
Just appeared.
Listen, I got enough trouble with the people on this planet.
I like Demi Lovato. Seems like a good person and very based. Demi, one of us. One of us. The next one that we're going to be looking at is again one that I had no idea. So this is Lupe Fiasco. Now, I get given a lot of shit in our Discord because I haven't seen anything. Okay, like I said, we watch movies in Discord. I've never seen any of them. Okay, I don't know why. I wasn't really into movies. Not that I don't like them. It's just like I'm busy, bro. I'm doing shit. I don't have time to sit down and watch a fucking movie. So, but I do enjoy them, right? Now, I didn't know who. Well, I'd heard of Lupe Fiasco, but I didn't know what he looked like. I didn't know what he does. But he's had a UFO encounter. People are saying push kick. I've heard that. I know that song. All right, I know Lupe Fiasco. There we go. Robert Mitrano, welcome to the members club, my man. Can we see some love in the chat for Rob? All right, here's Lupe Fiasco.
I feel.
You feel?
Because like there's no way to prove it.
Sorry, that's kind of low. Give me 1 second. I'll fix that. That should be better. Oh, and another one. Kai Jugnosis. Welcome to the Weirdos Club. Some more love. Keep it rolling for him. Keep it rolling.
Yeah. Right. But when I was 11, I definitely had an extra worldly experience.
What?
You know? Yeah.
What was left behind, Lupe?
I had got like a scar on the bottom of my like ankle. Like
and you don't know where that came from?
I don't know where it came from. I never had surgery there. I've never remember falling there. I've done martial arts my whole life. The whole thing. It could be something from that.
And was this when you were in Chicago?
Chicago.
Oh man, those things happen all the time.
You don't remember like leaving one night and coming back and waking up?
He was
like,
11.
No. What it was I remember I was and this one we was kind of poor.
Right.
So it was like me and my cousin. Right. He was laying. He was head to foot in the bed. Right. And the way I was laying, I could look out the window. And I remember.
She said, "Oh."
I remember like waking up and just being like shocked, like I was surrounded by all this like electricity, and I was trying to call and wake my cousin up and roll out the bed, and I couldn't move. Right.
Been there. I mean, not the electricity, but like, dude, that sleep paralysis feeling is crazy. I get it a lot.
And then it was just I seen all this blue, like got surrounded by like this blue electricity. It's really weird, right? And then so I'm laying.
Hey, dude, look how she looking at everybody. Like, see.
I told you my story.
But no.
Lupe, this is my story.
No, but
right,
look,
so
but go ahead. But you know what this is? It's like probably 10 of us in here right now. And she looking at everybody like, yeah.
So,
you know what that showed me? The both you motherfuckers are crazy.
So anyway, so you would think, okay, you know, it's electric shock. I'm trying to move, and I'm really getting shocked. I really feel like, I'm getting shocked. So I look out. So it stops, and I look out the window, and I see a black disc fly down in front of the window, sits there, then flies out, and it's like maybe seven in the morning. It wasn't like a night thing. It was like this black disc flew down and flew off into the thing.
Let me tell you, man.
A lot of people saying they've had sleep paralysis as well. John says, when I get sleep paralysis, I can see around the room like my eyes are open to anyone else. I find when I get it, I'm a stomach sleeper, which is bad. But when I'm asleep on my stomach, which is most of the time, and I get sleep paralysis, I find that like I can't see anything and I can't move. And generally when I do wake up, I like burst, I like jump and like twist. Happens all the time. And it's very annoying because for some reason, when you're in that state of like not being able to move, it's just like dread, like pure dread and like fear. You just think that like something hectic is happening to you and you can't move. And then all of a sudden you're like, blah. It's not good.
It sounds better coming from you.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Way better.
I believe it.
Hey,
you know,
man.
For some reason, I believe you.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Her, not so much, you know.
Okay, so my thing was I was laying down on a couch. I was sleeping in the living room,
that's what I'm
and
talking
it
about.
was like next to the window. And all of a sudden, I felt like I was waking up, like you know when you're getting back into consciousness. And then I felt a beam of light on me, and I heard the hover. Like I heard the hover outside, and then I tried to like, okay, I'm gonna get up. I couldn't move. I tried to yell for my mom, and it would go like you couldn't yell. And I started praying, and once I started praying, and I did my Our Fathers and stuff, it went away. But as soon I just knew it. Like I knew I was being visited.
What? If that's the case, then I've been visited many a time.
Okay.
No, real talk then.
Yeah.
If that's what it is, then I've been
that feeling of sleep.
I've been visited.
I got loud at the end. What do people think? I mean, like obviously sleep paralysis is pretty common, right? And we all feel like there's like something in the room or someone there. But obviously, yeah, like most people would say it's just like sleep paralysis. And, you know, maybe it is. But like, does anyone feel like it's something else? Or like Or has anyone had sleep paralysis that was like, no, that felt different? That felt different to like, you know, most of the time that it happens. Nico says, I sometimes see black skinny beings crawling on me when I have sleep paralysis. That's terrifying. How big are they? What do they look like? I got sleep paralysis once and felt like I was being shredded around the room. Absolutely terrifying. Every time I opened my eyes, I was thrown to another part of the room. Again, that's quite terrifying. I've had a couple of sleep paralysis experiences where I've woken up, and I think Gary Nolan even has said this, but I've had this feeling that like my whole body is vibrating from the inside, like an electrical feeling. And my heart rate is like through the roof. But no, I can't say I've ever like seen anything weird. But again, I'm a stomach sleeper. I go to sleep every night on my stomach just praying for that alien probe. Sorry. All right, next one. Kurt Russell. Now, this is a pretty famous one. A lot of you guys probably know this. Kurt Russell, who is an actor, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's an actor. Again, I don't watch movies, so I don't know shit. I just look at UFOs. Kurt Russell, not only is he an actor, you thought I was going to say Gary Nolan was standing there? Yeah, Gary Nolan was standing there saying, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. Kurt Russell, he's an actor, but he also is a pilot. And he was flying through Arizona in 1997 when the Phoenix Lights happened. And he saw the Phoenix Lights. He saw the craft in the air from his own plane. And this is what he had to say about it.
May be able to help me, and this may feature, who knows? Because this is an international story. Because of you both being here, I looked into the international files. Not covered by our Ministry of Defense, but maybe covered by yours. This took place in Arizona. An unidentified pilot, according to the press cuttings, flying near an airport in Arizona with his son when he spotted 6 lights in the night sky. So he called from the airplane to air traffic control to say, I'm seeing these lights here. I wasn't expecting any other planes. They're none supposed to be on my landing path. Can you tell me what's going on? They said there are no other planes.
Josh lubes up before bedtime. Yep. Bottle of lube and a prayer. Bottle of lube and hope.
He said, I'm seeing 6 bright lights coming towards me. Mystery unresolved.
Except, tail number for that plane was Bonanza 2 Tango Sierra, and I was the pilot. No way. Oliver and I.
Yes, take us back. Doesn't say that in the briefing.
Oliver and I.
Well, I should have read to the end.
Oliver and I were flying in. I was flying him to go see his girlfriend, and we were on approach. And
yeah, this is the Phoenix Lights, James.
I saw 6 lights over the airport in absolute uniform in a V shape, and Oliver said to me, I was just looking at him, and I was coming in. We're maybe a half a mile out, and Oliver said, "Pa, what are those lights?" And I then it kind of like came out of my reverie, and I said, "I don't know what they are." I said, he said, "Are we okay here?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna call him," and I reported it. And they said, "We're not painting anything. We don't show anything." I said, "Well, okay, I'm."
Yo, what the actual fuck is that? What the actual hell is that, dude? That's crazy. I don't even know what, bro. I'm going red. Huh. Dude, Dope Shism has just sent $500. What the actual hell is going on here? Dude, fuck. I don't even know what to say, man. That's actually insane. And thank you. Wow. I mean, dude, thank you's not even enough. That's just like insane. Yeah, dude, did you accidentally put an did you like miss the decimal? Because I can refund you if you need. Like, just tell me. And if that's a mistake, I'll sort it out for you. But if it wasn't, you are incredibly generous, dude. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's fucking insane. Wow. Wow. $4.99 must have been the joke. Yeah, thank you, bro. That's nuts. You didn't even leave a note with it for me to read either. But you're an absolute legend. You're an absolute legend. Thank you, man. If you meant to leave a note, get at me and I'll read it out, please. Thank you, thank you.
I'm going to declare it's unidentified, it's flying, and it's 6 objects. We landed. I taxied, dropped him off, took off, went back to L.A. Never said a word. He never said a word. I never thought of it. 2 years later, Goldie is watching a television show when I came home. And the show is on UFOs. But as I came home, hey, honey, how's it going? And I'm kind of hearing the TV going, and I stopped, and I started watching, and it was on that event. Now, that was the most viewed UFO event. Over 20,000 people saw that. And I'm watching this, and I'm feeling like Richard Dreyfuss.
He said, happy 20K, bro. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see that. I'm a little flustered. You got me a little flustered over here. God damn. Where are you? Where are you? Dope Shazam. Do you go by another name? Are you in Discord? Do I know you by another name? And is there anything I can do to hook you up or shout you out? Because that's crazy, bro. Thank you again. And $20 from my man, Red Panda, who I have a whole handful of clips from today. My man's providing clips for the whole community. Thank you, Red. Congrats on 20K subs. Josh, the effort and grind you put in is paying off. Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you, and I'm a fan of your work too. I've been watching your clips well before I was making content. Dope Shazam, the art, bro. Focus One. Okay, so if you guys follow me on Instagram, about a week ago, I reposted someone who did some sick like graffiti polarity for me. That's him. My man's talented. My man is talented. If you're into like street art, graffiti, that kind of stuff, hit him up. Banned in Queensland, the smell of iron lax. My brother knows. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Absolute legend. Yeah, Focus One on Instagram. If you're into street art and graffiti, go check him out. Absolute legend and super talented.
In Close Encounters of the Third Count, it's like, why do I know this? You know what? And it's not clear to me. And finally, I said, then they said the pilot reported it. A general aviation pilot reported it on landing. I'd never thought of it since then, and I said, that was me. That was me. And I said, wait a minute. I'll go to my logbooks. So I went to my logbooks, and there was the flight at that time, and I didn't mention anything about the UFO. The fascinating part of that to me is that it just went literally out of my head. Yeah. And Oliver never mentioned it. And had I not seen that show, I'd have never thought of it again. Amazing. Now, that to me was the weird part.
Believe it now, Chris? Yes.
Yes.
I'm convinced.
It's just unidentified. It's just unidentified. It's flying, and it's
an object.
It's an object.
Yeah.
Right.
Moving towards you at this.
We need to move on.
You is loved? Absolutely. Definitely feeling the love today. Yeah, we need to get Dope Shazam to do a sick little polarity in his style, and we'll put it on a t-shirt. That would be sick. Maybe get a little UFO in there, a little alien head or something. That'd be absolutely dope. I'd 100% print that on a t-shirt, bro. All right. So there's Kurt Russell, who saw the UFOs from the sky, the Phoenix Lights. Next up, this is a bit of a rogue one. Okay, this is one that I did not expect. And I'm interested to see what you guys think about this one. This is Kesha. You know TikTok? Getting slizzard? Yeah. Kesha. She's seen a UFO.
Fresh 102.7.
We know that there are UFOs on the cover of the new album.
Yeah, they're kind of everywhere. When you get the packaging, you'll see them come.
I thought you meant like now.
well, they are everywhere also currently.
Because
you
didn't
just
you
can't
see
them.
some?
I did, yes. Okay, okay. I go camping a lot. That's like my favorite thing. So part of like my inspiration, I think for especially the album art, and you'll see for even more of the album art, I'm not going to give away too much, but has been that I like had an experience with UFO when I was in Joshua Tree and I was camping, and we were just like sitting on a rock, and all of a sudden there were fireballs in the sky. And for the longest time, my boyfriend and I were just sitting there and we were just looking at them, and like we were trying to figure out like all these like really rational reasons.
So at least you had a witness.
Getting slizzard is Dev, not Kesha. Oh, shit. Forgive me. Forgive me mixing up my pop culture icons.
Yes.
No, and he's very rational. He's a very rational guy. And I was like, am I just like, are you seeing this? And he was like, yeah, I'm seeing it. And I was like, because like I could definitely just, I don't know. Am I just making, is this?
Right.
Yeah, mind blown.
Am I just, and he was like, no, they're like fireballs in the sky. And so we were like looking up online if there was some sort of art festival where there were fake UFOs or like a mountain or something that had fires on them that could look. We did everything that we could think of that could be like a rational explanation for these like fireballs in the sky. And then they like went away and then we kind of forgot about them. And then like a couple hours later, they came back. And I was like, there those aliens are.
Waking up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy didn't age well. Absolutely not. That's someone who went to bed with a bunch of baby oil and a prayer. Mm-hmm.
Those damn aliens, but in a different formation. So, and they were like moving around. And I was like, those aren't fires because fires don't just move around.
You don't want to sleep on your stomach at Diddy's house.
And they were different formations. And I was like, okay. And I've always kind of like been a believer. And my mom always talks about aliens. And we have this guy live in our basement named Carl who always talks about aliens and blah, blah, blah. So I like always loved aliens. And then like when I saw it, I was like, okay, well now I like really, really believe.
Did you tell Carl about it?
We don't know where Carl is. We're actually talking about this. We were like, where's Carl? We don't know. He probably is on one of those ships.
Well, what if alien life is really just like 23-year-old girls that are like, oh my God, there's a new Kesha. Let's go. And then they're like,
in a different dimension? Oh.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening.
Or it could be us in the future. Or in a different dimension. I'm open to all sorts of ideas.
Ooh, all right. Kesha's throwing out the extraterrestrial hypothesis. Okay, that's not what I expected. Get it, Kesha?
Open as well.
But I saw fireballs. That's all I know.
I think the story's not over. I think it. Yeah.
Are we going to see a Kesha and Dr. Michael Masters collab soon? God dang. People are saying Joshua Tree is a hotspot. Am I going to get abducted when I go to Joshua Tree? I'm not going to lie. I'm like 1% worried I'm going to get abducted when I'm in America, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, I genuinely do have that in the back of my mind. And I'm being deadly serious. Kesha is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Kesha equals Timber with Pitbull and Don't Stop. That's out of my league, brother. That's you're too deep in the Kesha lore for me. I'll have to trust you on that one. You should go. It's beautiful at Joshua Tree. Yeah, but will I get abducted? That I know it's beautiful, and I'm looking forward to going. But if it means I'm going to get abducted, I may have to pass on the scenery. Don't ride bikes near trucks. Yep, Emmy, Kate, that is a great bit of advice. You don't want to get John Macked. You don't want to get Carl Wolfed. Josh is going to take a nap on his stomach at Joshua Tree. That's it. I'm going to climb the highest peak. Sorry. We've been talking about like lube and stuff too much, and we're like 20 minutes into the stream. Hey, but it's a party, right? It is a party. We can get a bit wild. All right. Next one. This one's a shocker. This one I didn't expect. And I'm curious to know if you knew this one. Shaquille O'Neal, the man who is physically closer to the UFOs than almost anyone in the world. Sorry, I stole that joke from Jimmy Kimmel, who the interview is from. So you're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that again, but I got it in first. It's gonna have less effect when Jimmy says it.
Hey, Shaq. How are you?
What's up, Jimmy? How are you?
Very good to see you.
Nice to see you too, sir.
Well, first of all, before we get into all the congratulations, I do want to ask you about the UFOs, 60 Minutes. Did you watch last night? Do you know what's going on?
I did. I heard about it.
I feel like it's not getting as much attention as it should. And as someone who is just physically closer to outer space than the rest of us, what is your
unlucky bro stole it
take on what's going on?
Well, one, I totally believe in UFOs.
You do?
Yeah, because I look at Charles Barkley and look at his body. He's definitely an alien from and you know what's crazy? I never told anybody this story. In 1997, me and one of my good friends, Chris Flores, we were on a double date. The girl he married, her name is Melissa, her friend named Melissa. We were on a double date. We were coming from Hollywood Video in Madera, California. And right when we passed the fairground.
Kason Lee wants to know, why do you play these dumb vids? Can anyone in the chat let Kason Lee know why I play these dumb vids?
By this big open lot, I could have swear I saw a flying saucer come down with all the lights and it was spinning and it just and took off and everything happened in less than 5 seconds and we all looked at each other, was like, and I know that it was a UFO. I don't care what anybody says.
You never told anybody about that?
Nope, you're the first person I told because I don't want people to think I'm crazy. But
right.
Yeah, but
shit, Jimmy got the exclusive from Big Shaq. First time.
Yeah, but since I know you're crazy and you believe in UFOs, now it's time to let the world know that Shaq believes in UFOs.
You know, I have to say, I think that's part of the problem is anytime anyone shares a UFO story, people think they're crazy. And some of these pilots last night were saying, like, if I'd been alone in the plane and seen this, I don't think I would have told anyone because people would have thought I was crazy. But since there were 4 of us, we either were all crazy or we saw something.
I have another question for you.
Yes, go ahead, Chad.
Isn't it crazy, like, how indoctrinated people are that, like, because of the way society is, that, and so many people have had these experiences. Obviously, there's so many clips that we're going to look at today, but, like, you know, a lot of you guys in the chat have probably had experiences, or you know someone who has, and, like, people are just so indoctrinated that, like, unless someone is there with them, they don't even believe their own eyes. Which is crazy. They literally don't even believe their own eyes. That's kind of scary. That's how heavy the indoctrination is, that you can see something and you'll convince yourself you didn't because it's just too crazy. Jeff with $1. Thank you, Jeff. You didn't leave a message, but I appreciate the $1, my man.
Why when I look up at nighttime, I can see the moon? So the moon from Earth is how many miles? Just guess.
At least 50. I don't know. It's got to be a good
50
distance.
what, 1,000 miles?
More than that, probably.
Okay, so my question is, I can stand outside and look up and see the moon. How come when I stand outside my yard, I can't see California? And it's only 3,000 miles away. Think about
Probably because you're only 8 feet tall. If you were 9 feet tall, you would be able to see California. Shaq, I'm starting to suspect you've maybe been experimenting with marijuana, but that has nothing to do with any of this.
Actually, no. No.
That was pretty funny. That was good. Yeah, there you go. Big Shaq dropping knowledge bombs. We love to see it. Bleak with $2 also didn't leave a message, but thank you, Bleak, my brother. Appreciate you. Kason Lee says, sorry, hello from Sri Lanka. That's all good, brother. That's all good. You kind of came in like Kramer there. But take a seat, get a glass of water, get comfortable, sit down. John Lennon saw a UFO. He certainly did, Mackenzie, and we are going to be looking at that. And we're also going to be hearing from someone who is very close to him and saw it with him. This is a great show, Josh. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I made the 20K stream. You certainly did, sir. Welcome. Get comfortable, get a glass of water, relax, have a stretch. Stupid weed joke, lame. Moss guy didn't enjoy that one. Did not approve of that joke. That's a shame. I thought it was good. Tommy, welcome. Matt, welcome. All right, moving forward. Billy Ray Cyrus. Now, when I found this clip, I was actually looking for Miley Cyrus because Miley Cyrus has had her own encounter, but there's no video of it, and I really only wanted to show clips today. I was going to give some honorable mentions for some people who had interesting accounts that I couldn't find clips for, but there's that many that I have clips for that I'm just not going to bother doing that. But Miley Cyrus has had one too.
Speaking of Miley, this was one of my favorite things I've heard recently. So she shared her experience with UFOs, which I do believe life is out there, but you've had a similar experience. I didn't know that.
Well, I don't talk about it all that often, to be honest. But, you know, it goes back. When I was a little boy growing up in Kentucky, there was this place back in the mountains. And there's these big old beech trees back there. And beech trees are good to carve on with a knife. And way back in the 1930s, a guy that lived back in the mountains had this experience with, he carved the pictures on a tree. I found them when I was a little boy, and it was an old Model T Ford and a saucer and this alien-looking thing. And I started researching, and I go, wait, man, there was like an alien invasion in Kentucky in the late 1930s? Who knew about that? And
That's crazy. What's that about? 1930s? Aliens and UFOs in Kentucky? What? 1930s? That's crazy. He's doing an interview with his guitar. Yeah, he doesn't go anywhere without his guitar. You never know. You never know when you got to bust out a tune.
yeah, and so I kind of got, I don't know, fascinated with it as a little boy. And then a couple times, you know, throughout life, I've seen some crazy stuff. And some of it, I'm sure most of it's probably explainable, but some of it I like to live. Hey, I took that picture.
He said, hey!
Wow.
I remember that thing. I remember that one right there. That's a beauty. I took that.
That
with
was
my BlackBerry.
With my BlackBerry iPhone. So wait, Rain and Lisa, do you believe, Lisa, in extraterrestrial?
Emotional support guitar. I like it. They were there for the moonshine. The hair and the guitar go where he goes. It certainly seems like that. It is definitely his comfort thing.
I do too. I don't think it's what we think it is, but I do believe in like other life.
I think that we can't be the only life.
I think that's so egocentric to think.
I think so too.
Right? I mean, unless you don't believe in it, and then I think that's fine, Rain.
Who is that?
Oh, I totally believe that.
Is that the dude from The Office?
There's aliens and some kind of, they'd be traveling and they'd be observing us, and right now I think those aliens are looking down on planet Earth and going,
yes.
Oh, they definitely would. They would be watching Lou Elizondo show pictures of chandeliers and just be like, for fuck's sake.
I would agree.
They're behind the curve. They just can't figure it out.
That one was fun. 1930s, apparently, things were going down in Kentucky. What is that about? Josh needs to go to Kentucky to investigate. The clash of accents will be incredible. Yeah, but the thing is, dude, as soon as I get to the south of America, I'm going to start talking like that. Because I've always wanted to talk like that. I'm just going to blend right in, bro. I'm going to blend straight in with those guys. I want to be one of them. I'm going to start boot scooting and line dancing and all of it. I'm going to do all of it. What do we got next? Oh, Nick Jonas. There's definitely a bit of a theme with these like Disney kids. Nick Jonas is a Disney kid, right? I mean, he's like before me. Like he's like younger. He's like, you know, the generation below me. I wasn't into that shit. So like anything below me is Disney kid. But I actually have no idea. Oh, no, wait. He's from the Jonas Brothers, isn't he? Were they on Disney? Probably. They definitely would have been at some point.
Demi Lovato, you are friends with Demi Lovato. You work with Demi Lovato. Yeah. She's been on the show. She's absolutely...
That's a little bit quiet. Let me boost it for y'all. Ooh. I'm practicing my Southern. Let me boost it for y'all.
lovely. She has some ideas about aliens. Very much believes in that.
Yeah, she and I have talked about this a lot.
And now, when you talk, do you try to disabuse her of these ideas, or are you totally on board?
I am on board.
You are on board.
So when I was 14, maybe I was in my backyard playing basketball with some friends, and I looked up in the sky, and there was 3 flying saucers.
Really?
So this is Hollywood, and everyone was like, it's a movie set. And I was convinced it was real, and I looked up online, and there was 3 identical sightings in other states.
Wow.
And so I'm a firm believer in aliens.
Gotcha.
And terrestrial life.
Damn. You're underestimating how much American women love Australian accents. Ben, you're saying I should hold on to the accent. Is that what you're telling me? It's gonna do me favors. They're all Monarch kids, Disney kids. Yeah, they're literally every kid on Nickelodeon is basically like 11 from Stranger Things. Just they've been tinkered with. Let's just say that.
Demi also said she believes in mermaids. Do you believe in that?
I think I'm gonna have to talk to her about that.
Yeah, that's bull. Mermaids are bull. I'll believe aliens before I believe.
aliens,
I
no
mean,
mermaids.
ideally 0. I don't believe
Yeah.
any of it, but.
Yeah.
Well, you're a dumbass.
Although
can
if
you
you
do?
looked up and saw 3 mermaids.
Sorry, that was harsh, but it's a party.
You're pretty tight.
I'll tell you that. If you ever look up and see 3 mermaids, I want you going straight into the studio and writing some sweet groove, because that is
That laugh track, though. Who is that guy? Who's the host?
some getting down music right there. Thank you so much. You can stick around and sing for us.
What is he? Watch more late night. Who is this guy? This dweeby motherfucker. Doesn't believe in goddamn aliens. What's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? Seth Meters? Seth Myers. Seth Myers. Okay. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. Let's talk about Demi Lovato believing in mermaids. So, I feel like I want to see Demi Lovato talk about this because I'm interested to actually hear what she has to say. But saying like, I believe in mermaids, obviously you're going to get mocked. Or is she saying like, I believe in extraterrestrial life that exists in the ocean. I believe in advanced intelligences that live in the bottom of the ocean. Because that's something I can get on board with 100%. And like, obviously the word mermaid is just like clouded in like mythology lore of like, it's just, you know, I would never say I believe in mermaids. Even if I did, I would say like, I believe in humans from the sea. Just to like dodge that word because it's just got so much, you know, baggage with it. But I mean, it looks increasingly likely based on what we've heard that the intelligent life on this earth that is above us lives under the ground and likely under the ocean. And that's not my words. That's the words of like people in the government, people in the military. Crazy, right? And then you got this dumbass host who, look at him. This dumbass doesn't even know what he's talking about. Bro, the people in the government are saying it. And you're on here laughing at people? Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. All right, next one. Post Malone. Now, I'm sure a lot of us have seen this because this was on Joe Rogan a while ago. And I think Post Malone's really cool. Every time I've seen him talk, he just comes across like a really sweet guy. Just like really genuine, really nice, really humble. Just like, you know, usually someone with that kind of fame, you don't expect that kind of humility. And obviously he's like covered in tattoos and shit as well, which doesn't mean anything, but like you sort of naturally are like, you would assume maybe, you know, they're a bit wild or a bit crazy or something like that. Not at all with Posty. Like, he is a G, 100%. I really like him.
And I seen one. I mean,
You've seen
I
a
never.
UFO?
Yeah.
What'd you say? What'd it look like?
I was probably 16. I was in upstate New York, and it would just stay there. So let me precursor this. My aunt and uncle were very strict, and we had to go to bed at a very strict deadline, probably 10 p.m. And I was looking out the window with my cousin, and it's just a light that just stays there and then just fucking goes off. I mean, it just... Whew.
Posty's a weirdo, 100%. He is one of us. Yep. We need to get him in the Discord, absolutely. He was also in the metalcore scene back in the day. Damn, he really is a G. He really is one of us. Man, me and Posty could just talk music and aliens and shit for hours. Incredibly talented. Yeah, dude, he's a crazy good singer. Excellent live. I've never seen him live, but I don't doubt it.
You can't explain it.
How strong is this memory when you're like looking at it, when you're trying to remember it?
Medium.
Medium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's something there.
For sure something took off and did something that didn't make sense to you?
For sure. And then in Utah, I mean, there's shit happens all the time. I mean, even here in LA, there was like a balcony here, and it looked kind of like, it sounds corny, but like a classic like force field. Whenever you think of a force field, and it just kind of goes like this, and it's kind of like a dome in a circular shape. And it just goes like this and goes back in.
Whoa.
In Tarzana. Looking down at the fucking city. And I'm like, how did no one else see this?
They might have.
But I was there with like fucking 4 other people, and they saw it too.
That's a wild one. Like a force field looking thing. You don't hear about that stuff too often. He's an abused child. Of course he sees UFOs and is a multi-talented artist. Yeah, that does seem to be a little bit of a trend. Not always the case though. He's real for sure. Yep. He was on an episode of Ghost Adventures and he makes wine. What can't this man do? Oh, damn it. He loved Ozzy. The tattoos and the slow voice don't do him justice. What do you mean by that? I like his tattoos and I like the way he talks too. I feel like he's just got a very cozy, comforting vibe that just makes you feel like just comfortable around him, which is nice. $2 from Maggie, M10. Didn't leave a message, but Maggie, appreciate you very much. Thank you. Oh, you got a little vibes thing on there. Hell yeah, I like that. Only the best musicians make wine. What other musicians make wine? Oh yeah, I think I've seen that Kurt Cobain cover actually. Yeah, super talented guy, like many of the people in today's show are. This next person, though, I had to look up who this was. Who in the chat knows who Shirley MacLaine is? Shirley MacLaine. Now, you know by that first name, this is above my generation. Okay, for me, the Disney kids are below. The Shirley MacLaines are above. I'm in the middle. Do we have any Shirley MacLaine fans in the chat? Peter says yes. Harudo, no idea. Shadronica, me. So this has just outed everyone's age. Okay, all the Shirley MacLaine's fans are showing their age right now. Unlucky. Hey, age is just a number though. It doesn't mean anything. All right, let's check out Shirley. And I was surprised by this too. She's a real one. She's a weirdo. She would be one of us, 100%. And she's like, she knows her shit. Check this out.
Why do you like living in New Mexico?
It's like the sign.
Wait, I know her. I'm not that old. Not too late.
It's an enchanted place. It's a land of enchantment.
Santa Fe.
Yeah. I live at 8,000 feet. It's absolutely extraordinarily gorgeous. It's the backyard of UFOs, to lead into what you want
That's
to
where they land and they've come.
Mhm.
Have you ever seen one?
Yes.
What did you see?
Here we go.
Craft. That's about it. When it comes to how I felt when I saw it, I'm like you. I don't go that much into the feeling. I want to go, wait a minute, I just saw a craft and it went like that. I saw many of them in Peru. Oh my Lord, I went way up by 13,000 feet and all the scientists had people.
Peru, interesting. Remember, ages ago, I did a video on Peru. Actually by some stuff that I got from Matt. I don't know if he's still in here, but UFOs around the world. He got like some photos and some testimony from these people in Peru talking about these little beings, and it's one of my older videos, but it's really interesting. Like, Peru is a very interesting place that is not talked about enough. Not just like Machu Picchu, but you've got like, obviously the Nazca mummies are from there, the Nazca lines. There's something else there too, but I'm having a mind blank. Oh, that like the Atacama Giant. I guess that's kind of part of the Nazca lines in a way. But yeah, Peru is a weird place. If you haven't seen that video of mine, just go check it out because it is wild. And there's more stuff on Peru in today's show as well. $10 from Brad Hillman. Thank you, my man. He says wrecked in the sticker, but didn't leave a note. But Brad, thank you, my man. I appreciate the tenor, and so does Suki.
There, the skies, searching the skies, making evidence, making pictures, etc. I mean, it was like an skewed bowling alley watching all this craft dart across the
Why do you think, and it would be a guess, they have not arrived and talked to us?
I think that for some reason, our governments, especially the American government, don't want to disclose it.
Why? I wouldn't fear it. Do you who would fear it?
Well, Larry, I think it would cause some problems. But besides that, you know, my big reason for thinking they don't, aside from military-industrial complex losing control.
See what I'm saying? Shirley knows what's up. She knows the military-industrial complex got their hands all over this shit. She's no fool.
Which I said once on your show about 60 years ago. It was the idea that if they are traversing space in such large distances, they have free energy.
Shit, somebody get on the phone to Ashton Forbes. Connect Shirley MacLaine and Ashton Forbes. It's the podcast we need. It's the podcast we deserve.
If we knew about that free energy, all the global elite would be out of money.
Yep.
You got a point. In 2014 alone, NASA discovered more new planets than the previous 17 years combined. What does that tell you?
That we're not alone.
You tell them, Shirley. See? There's nothing wrong with that. Shirley knows her shit. Age is just a number. She would be one of us too, 100%. She nailed it. She really did. She really did. She was like cool, calm, calculated, and just hit the points on the head. Are Shirley and Larry still with us? Ooh, I mean, I don't know. I didn't even know who Shirley was before this. But I feel like Larry, maybe not. I don't know where I'm getting that from, though. I'm not sure. MK Ultra got her like Marilyn. I don't think. I mean, I think the according to the stuff that we've heard, Marilyn is Marilyn got caught up in like the UFO stuff. You know, so we hear from like people like Danny Sheehan that she was like, you know, having like an affair with like the Kennedys or something, and then one of the Kennedys, and then some shit was going to go down. So she was like, I'm going to go public and tell everything you've told me about the UFO stuff. And then she died. That's a very shit version of the story. Yeah, a very shit version, but it's something like that. Larry isn't, but Shirley is. She's still acting. What a G. She's staying young. Yeah, I had a feeling Larry wasn't. All right, next one. Now, this is one I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know this one. But I've got 3 different clips here. So hopefully there's something you at least haven't seen. Robbie Williams. Do we have any Robbie fans in the chat? Now Robbie, I used to say like Robbie Williams was like a guilty pleasure of mine, but shit, I'm not guilty about that anymore. That's a proud pleasure. Robbie goddamn Williams. What a heartthrob. What a singer. Take that. Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome dude. Love Robbie, not just because he's like a really cool entertainer, but again, just like a super down-to-earth dude. When you see him talk, you know, he's obviously been through his troubles and his trauma, but usually the people who come out of the other side of that are the coolest people to talk to because they're down to earth. They're not full of shit. They don't have an ego, and that's my kind of guy. So this first clip here, man crush, not quite. Not quite. I'd probably still have to hand that one to David Beckham. Yeah, I would. This first clip, hopefully you've maybe not seen it. This is just kind of him talking in general, and then the other clips are his sightings. But this is Robbie Williams sitting at the campfire with George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell drinking beers.
I felt that depth of despair.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say, I think everybody has had those moments if they've lived a life, but I don't know the level of that despair compared to yours or someone else's, but I have recovered from that. And so for me, it's like in the sense of saying yes, but I don't know how it equates to yours.
Because for me personally...
Tummy boy loves Robbie, makes sense. That's it. On the tummy, baby oil, singing angels. That's how I go to sleep.
You know, I've had difficulties with substance abuse, etc., and found myself in places that I would deem to be hell on earth for quite a length of time. And my reservation would be, if it was just scary, I can deal with that. But if I have a hitchhiker that comes on and takes me over, I couldn't deal with that. So I'm scared of that. But we do have a saying in England.
Me, it's fetal position crying.
And it's in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm here, so I might as well. And I survived the last one, but only just. Only just.
What about a different kind of hell? I mean, you've had other experiences that were very frightening, that were not self-inflicted.
Yeah, but they are, you know, they're the cocaine of paranormal experiences.
What do you mean?
It's gone in 15 minutes, you know.
So you've had brief encounters with the phenomenon.
Yeah, brief encounters with the phenomena, but you know, I don't know, maybe I did take something home a long, long time ago.
Of course he had to sneak in the drug reference there. Classic, showing his past. What does this sound? Not good? Yeah, I think, you know, it's a Cabello video. He's always going to slip in some weird theatrics. I don't know what that sound was. It was just part of the video. But let's hear about his actual encounters. So I just thought that was a fun little clip to throw in there. This is him talking about a UFO he saw up close in LA.
I've never felt more closer to the woo than I do in Los Angeles. And two major things happened while I was here. I was with a young lady that will remain nameless because my wife. And it was over 17 years ago because I've been with my wife for 17 years. And we're both on a sun lounger looking up at the stars, and it's 10:30. And she's next to me, I'm here, relaxing. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, came this square object, which I can only guess was about the size of 2 penalty boxes in soccer. You know, the penalty box where the goalkeeper is? I would say if you elongated 2 of those, black, silent, low enough to throw a golf ball or a tennis ball and hit the underside of it, came.
Like, that's crazy what he's saying. The size of 2 soccer goals, and he could throw a tennis ball at it. Like, you ever tried throwing a tennis ball as high as you can? Like, you can't really throw it that far straight up. Like, that's super close. That's like blocking out probably a good chunk of the sky, I would say. Why the hell did Nap take Cabello under his wing? That's my question. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, they seem to get along and have a good working relationship, but sometimes when they're doing stuff together, George Knapp does look like he's like minding his like hyper ADHD autistic son, and he's like just a little bit embarrassed or something like that. At least that's how he looks. I don't know if that's how he's feeling, but that's what his face is saying.
Floating over the trees, underneath it had these yellow, I would say like safety
lights.
Yeah. Not lights. No strips.
Oh.
Yellow strips like this, and then it was metallic. It was matte black with
yes, Josh,
these bumps in it, and it came over silently.
Just missing a shit pair of teeth.
And then carried on going silently away. And yeah, I can't explain what that was. And she turned around and went, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, so she saw, I mean, that's a fucking UFO.
That's an unidentified flying object.
Yeah.
I do kind of like Cabello though. Like, even though he's, like, I understand why he gets ripped on, but like, I don't know. I just kind of like him, eh? I don't know.
But like, what I didn't do was instantly go, you know, it's from Zeta Reticuli or whatever. Yeah. I just thought, well, there's a bit of exotic technology that they're not telling us we've got.
Right.
But what was interesting was the fact that that's incredibly interesting by itself. The other interesting thing was this was at the Beverly Hills Hotel at 10:30. Which is a very, you know, it's on Sunset Strip. So if I saw it, so did countless other people. but as it happens, they didn't.
You and the person you were with both saw it.
Oh yeah.
But what you'd imagine, just everybody would have seen that.
Yeah,
right over
and
LA.
and if it's, if it's that low, and
Corbell cooks my noodle in an irritating way. He's just an excitable boy. Corbell has his queers, but he's a rock star. I don't know if that's a typo. Yeah, I think what I like about Corbell is like he's just like so like excited and like stoked and happy and like, but like I think that can come off the wrong way sometimes in this topic. But you can't knock someone who's like happy all the time, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of dude you want to be around for sure. But it's like when it's time to be serious or when you're trying to present something serious, it's like, okay, maybe just dial it back for a sec. And like the one thing that does shit me, and I think this is an Australian thing because like we just don't like this kind of stuff. I don't know why, but we just don't. When he says go UFO, like brother, just anything, if you can just do one thing, just drop that. That's all. But I think that's probably an Australian thing. I'm probably just being like a rude Australian.
that big, going over the hotel, it's then got to go up Benedict Canyon, which has got 1,000 houses, and then it's got to go over Benedict Canyon into the San Fernando Valley. So, and the San Fernando Valley has got millions and millions of people in it.
So where are the reports?
Not only where are the reports, where are the other people that saw it that night? Where is the talk and where is the chatter? And there isn't. So that was one story.
It's a pretty interesting one. I mean, the size of 2 soccer goals is like almost exactly how a lot of these craft are explained. Like that's probably like 40 foot, 35, 40 feet. I'm using American units here. I'm guessing. I'm trying to do y'all a favor. In Australian numbers, that would be like 20 meters? Less. Around 20-ish meters, I think, give or take. Something like that. What do I look like, a ruler? $5 from my man, the Cookie. How y'all doing? Got a hash hole? Hope y'all have a great day and night. Thank you, man. Thank you for the $5. Enjoy your hash hole. And shout out to P-Shaw as well. Andy with a $5. Mr. Soggy Aussie. Andy the Soggy Aussie. Why are you so soggy, Andy? What's going on, bro? Did someone dip you in oil? What is that about? Why are you soggy? Tell me. As soon as Corbell said the first time, all I can say is he lost me. I just thought psyop straight away. Yeah, look, if any of them were, if I had to pick someone who's being psyoped, it would be probably Jeremy Corbell. I tried to think, but I had nothing. I did. 40 foot is roughly half a furlong nautical mile. Oh, that explains it. Oh, it's just half a furlong nautical mile acreage hectare. So yeah, there we go. That's sorted. We can move on. Corbell is the absolute worst. He's all right. He's just excited. Let him go. All right, this is the other Robbie Williams experience that he had. This one's pretty interesting. And actually, something happens in this clip. Check this out. Robbie's been dipped in oil. That's for sure. Look at him. Robbie Williams is a cool guy. I think so too. Robbie, the psionic summoner. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'll replay it for you in just a sec. Another $2 from Andy. Says, Soggy Aussie is my gamer tag. I appreciate that, but why? Why Soggy? Because when I hear soggy, I think of that game that the rugby kids would play at high school. Mona, welcome to the Weirdos Club. Can we see some love for our latest little freak? You've just unlocked a whole bunch of members-only content and the members-only section of the Discord. So welcome, and thank you for being here. Joel Quinn has definitely played a bit of Soggy Sayo by the looks of things. Very familiar with that activity. I have a 7-year-old with or ADHD, so autism and ADHD. Josh, can you make a video for members talking with us about neurodiversity? I mean, to be honest, most of... Wow, okay, we got a lot of Soggy Sayo participants in the chat, apparently. A lot of people playing that game. Mona, you've only just become a member, so I guess you wouldn't know, but actually a lot of my members-only content, I do kind of talk about my own experience with ADHD, and my members-only content is a lot more, like, personal. It's a lot more personal, and just, it's like it's different. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's almost kind of like a video journal plus other stuff mixed in. Yeah, so go and enjoy that, but maybe we can go deep on that in the future for sure. Josh, what is your Discord link? The Polarity Discord should be below, my friend. Explain it for the Yanks. Look, I'm sure the Yanks can use Urban Dictionary and find out what Soggy Sayo is. That's probably, I mean, I know this is a party. We are having a party. We can get a bit wild, but that's maybe a bit too far for the live stream. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. We got more to get through. Camila Cabello. Now, I don't think that's how you say it. I think it's Camila Cabello. But excuse my whiteness. Camila Cabello. Andy with another $5. World of Warships in the water. Soggy, but I never come last. All right, sir. I'll take your word for that one. Thank you. Thank you for the support, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, so Camila Cabello actually has a video. She's got a video of her sighting. And it happened in Peru, because I'm assuming that's probably where she's from. Josh, you pronounced it beautifully. Proud Latina here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, yes. I apologize, Contra. My man. Thank you. Let's check that out quickly, because
saw aliens, and then
we did get sidetracked talking about Soggy Sayo. That's crazy. All right, so check this out. When Robbie Williams is talking about this black thing that entered the room and like exited the room. So he's not actually this is when he's talking about seeing that orb, and then this thing happened in the room that they were in, right? Watch what happens when he points at the screen. All the screens just flicked like as his hand went to it, which could be a coincidence, right? Of course it could. But, you know, these kind of talk shows that have their like TVs in the background as their screens, you never really ever see them flicker. Like, you know, again, I'm not saying it's an alien. Relax. I'm not saying it's the Nazis in the secret space program, but it is kind of strange that like at the moment that he's talking about this weird shit, this happens. And then when she says it, Robbie's kind of like, I think Robbie thinks she's taking the piss out of him because he's like, yeah, wow. Like, no, bro, it actually happened.
what was that? Do you know what?
Pretty interesting, huh? Damn, Josh, the fact you immediately thought to catch the timestamp so you could loop is pretty dope. Thought to catch the timestamp. What do you mean on this video? Bro, thank you, man. Thank you. Your support is honestly crazy. Very appreciated as well. There's your previous gamer tag, Andy. Which one was? Soggy Biscuit. Yeah, worried about seeming crazy. Like, again, that's what I mean. People have seen things with their own eyes, got videos of it, and they're still worried. It's crazy. Jimmy Fallon with a beard is weird. Fallon is known for skits like this, though. Yeah, I think they're kind of playing it up to the camera. But let's check out this video. So this is a video Camila took of her. This is her parents. 20K, well done, bro. Thank you, my man. Welcome.
And watch.
Do you guys see
it?
that?
Yeah.
Guys.
So here it is in slow motion. Let's take another look at this.
I slowed this video down, this picture down.
Watch this. What is that?
Guys, and there's another one that comes.
That's pretty crazy because you can distinctly see that go behind the mountain. Like it's not a bug. Some of you know why I'm laughing when I say that, but no, it's not a bug. This one is.
They don't watch our show.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
they don't. You're fine.
I think they probably do. It's yeah, I think it's cool. Like they're obviously having fun with it, right? Let's just
You brought us a.
find that video again. They're obviously having fun with it, right? I think that's okay. Like it's like they're taking it seriously, but they're not trying to like freak. You know, they're not trying to make it a serious segment, but I think they are taking it seriously. I'm just trying to find the video footage. We missed it. I don't have the timestamp on this one. Definitely messed up here. I really thought it was around here. Here we go. That thing's moving. Damn, like look how much the mum moves in the time that this thing goes across like the entire frame and behind the volcano or mountain, whatever that is. Now I've got the timestamp dialed. That thing, yeah, when Chinese lanterns are fueled with swamp gas and Venus is in the right place in the sky, that's just what it looks like actually. So, yeah, don't worry about that. Next one is Chester Bennington. Again, R.I.P. Another goat of the game.
Arizona, and everything that
in Arizona, of all places, what a coincidence, right? Definitely something going on down there. You immediately thought weather balloon? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Linkin Park is my favorite band of all time. Saved my life. Yeah, music definitely can be there for people in times like that, for sure. Rip Chester. Yep. 100%. That's one regret I have. I never saw Linkin Park live with Chester, and I'll never ever get to. And I still listen to Hybrid Theory, top to bottom, regularly. That's like one of my regular gym rotations. It's like such a great album. Yeah, Australians will know Soundwave when Linkin Park, Blink-182, and Metallica all headlined this crazy Soundwave lineup. I lived in Brisbane at the time, or at least I was in Brisbane, and the way it was set up there was disgusting because all three of them were playing at the same time on different stages. And I chose Blink-182, which didn't even have Travis Barker, and I regret that now because I've seen Blink with Travis and Tom and Mark, and I never got to see Linkin Park.
you know that you guys will see, or hear on the interview or see on the interview. That is 100% true.
100, like 1,000,000%.
Son of a gun.
It is the only time I've seen something that I could not logically put a reasonable explanation together for what I just seen.
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I've heard some pretty wild UFO stories, and that's got to be right up there with the best of them.
It makes me feel weird just like remembering, like I vividly remember exactly what I saw, and I still get the same creepy kind of like, that can't be man-made.
But the only time you've had that experience, that one time? Or
I mean, I've seen some other things that I could probably put together as like, that easily could have been a plane or like a military, operation going on.
But
I mean, it is Arizona. I mean,
yeah, it's probably Secret Mountain with all the black helicopters and orbs.
You know.
Oh my God.
There's a bunch of those secret bases that everybody knows about around there.
51.
Yeah. So, but this.
See, it ain't no secret. Everyone knows about this shit.
This one was just too bizarre.
Was your shades?
Pretty interesting, huh? He doesn't really go into detail, which is a shame, and I did try to dig to try and find it. But yeah, he seems pretty convinced. And I was laughing through that because the whole John Podesta's son thing is crazy because it's so true. And I would like play with that idea more and have fun with it more. But the fact that like John Podesta is potentially involved in like some really dark shit just based on the emails that came out from him, I don't really want to like put him on my stream, because I don't know. But they do look so similar. It's actually hilarious. But I don't think Chester deserves to be compared to John Podesta and the Pizzagate gang. How old is Josh? 33, just like the top level Freemasons. Maybe I am one. Next one, Woody Harrelson. Funny story about Woody Harrelson.
Like seeing a UFO.
Where is he? Funny story about Woody Harrelson. I used to always tell my best friend that he looks like Woody Harrelson, and he doesn't at all. But I would always tell him that he looks like Woody Harrelson, and he would hate it. And he would get so annoyed, and I would just be like, bro, you look so much like him. Oh, shit. I love that. I love that. You could. Anyone want to help us out down here? Shit is not going well. So that's a mass sighting by the sounds of it. And so interesting that Woody says nobody talked about it. They all just went inside and pretended it never happened. Which is something you do hear. You do hear that kind of a lot, actually. That people are just like too... I don't even know what it is. Like, is it like the stigma that strong that people like are just so shocked that they don't want to talk about it? Or is it like something, is it some kind of like effect that the UFO has on people that like makes them not want to, like it's literally doing something to their head to make them not speak about it? Because that it's such a common trope that you hear with UFO cases that they don't want to talk about it. I would love if the Nordics showed up and just told the whole world, knock it off, you little brats. I think the government definitely needs a smack. Yep. The government needs to be put in timeout. Actually, government, you can go sit in the corner and stare at it for like a few days, at least, minimum. Sit in the corner, stare at it, and you're not having dinner tonight. Government. Angry astronauts coming to Australia. I think I have heard that. I have spoken to him. And then I think he just stopped replying to me. No, I think we're exchanging ideas to maybe do a collab. This is like ages ago. And I think he just stopped replying. Maybe I'm just too weird, because that's happened to me with a few people. They just stop replying to me. That's okay. I get it. We're all busy. $2 from Toxic Fart. Here's some money for a Joshua Tree shirt. Thank you, my man. Appreciate that. Always showing your support. All right, next one. January Jones. Once again, I had no idea who this lady was until today. Can anyone in the chat tell me where January Jones is from? And while you're telling me that, we can listen to her encounter.
Just wanted that knowledge.
Are you into like aliens and stuff like that?
Very much.
Oh, really? Have you ever had a UFO sighting?
Once.
What happened?
In Iowa. I saw. I was at Field of Dreams. No, I was in a field actually, but.
How old?
Like 24.
Okay.
22 to 24, and I saw a light in the sky, and it went like made a shape, and then it like went. It was definitely a spaceship.
Well, it could have been a spaceship, I guess.
Or a shooting star that just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A drunken shooting star. Were you like smoking or anything like that?
No.
Totally straight? Was anybody with you?
Yes. No. I mean, there was someone else in the car, and I was like, what? Did you see that? And he said no.
Oh, he didn't see it.
I saw it. And I didn't imagine it. It was
Did he
real.
believe you that you saw it, or was he skeptical?
He said he did. But people say things all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of thirsty people in the chat, apparently. It's okay. I understand. If the aliens looked like January Jones, I would be okay with being abducted. I understand. I get it. She looks like she has Nordic genes. She's from my dreams. She's from Planet Hot. My God. My God, people. Josh, did you see the huge donation before? Yes, I did. I got quite flustered and didn't really know what to say. It was insane. I don't think I'll ever get a bigger donation than that, ever. Because that's just crazy. Insane generosity. I'm telling you guys, like, this community is like unmatched. The generosity, the love, the positivity, it's the best. It is the best. And actually, just on that, while I remember, if you guys want the chance to get a membership gifted to you, you actually have to turn a setting on, I found out. So I think like in the 3 dots in your chat, like in your chat window, if you click the 3 dots, you have to like enable the ability to get gifted a membership. So just make sure you turn that on if you want the chance to get lucky with a membership, not with January Jones. Relax, sit down, take a drink. It's okay. Let's move forward. Elvis. Elvis is the next one. Well, it is Elvis, but it's not him telling us. It's his bodyguard. And his bodyguard's name is Sonny. And when I was looking at this, apparently Elvis believes that he was contacted by aliens at like the age of 8 years old. I didn't really dig into it too much more than that, but I did see that. And I thought that was very interesting. But this is his bodyguard, Sonny, talking about a strange moment that happened with Elvis.
But he said, let's go outside. So we went out there, and we're talking and everything, and he's just being quiet. And all of a sudden he says, son, you see that light over there? And I look over and see a light off over in the distance. I said, well, yeah. I said, plane. He said, I said, oh, okay. But light's coming closer and closer and closer. I'm waiting for the sound of a prop or a helicopter or a jet engine. I'm waiting for some sort of sound and say, no, Elvis, it's a plane. There is no sound. And it's getting closer and closer, and there's a tree line there around the golf course, and it just kind of went and disappeared behind the trees there, and I still am not hearing a sound. He says, go in there and get Jerry. So I went in the house and got Jerry, and we come back, Elvis not there. We started calling for him. He's not answering. Jerry said, where'd he go? I said, I don't know. And I told you, I said, there was a light he wanted you to see that was coming from across the sky that went over in here and everything.
Darkness says, how do you know if you're a member or not? My brother, the badge next to your name tells me you've been a member for at least 3 months. So hopefully you realize that. The badge next to your name will symbolize it. So when you just join, you kind of get like an alien head inside a little black circle. Then after a month, it becomes a big green head. And then between 2 and 6 months, it's a purple head, which is what most people are on because that's like the longest one. And then after 6 months, you get some gold trim. You know, it's kind of like a military badge. Kind of just gets a little bit of something every time you rank up.
I said, you go up one side of the house and I'll go up the other and we'll go out and see if he's out front. Went out there, he wasn't out there. Now, folks, I got to tell you, I'm young at that time. I'm about 26 years old. I'm starting to think, what is going on here? Because Elvis had acted weird sometimes, you know, making bushes quiver and move and clouds form and dissipate, you know. And so we're hollering out there, and all of a sudden, I hear this voice, I'm down here, guys. And we look down, he's about 3 houses down in the driveway. So we hurry down there to him and everything. What are you doing? What are you doing down here? He said, oh, nothing. He said, that light, they're gone. I said, who's gone? He said, they're gone, but they'll be back. I said, okay, I'd like to meet them, Elvis. You will, and he was serious. He said, you will. We went back up to the house. I talked with Jerry. I said, Jerry, I don't know what he's talking about. It was like, he said, well, son, it was a plane. I said, Jerry, I got to tell you, there was no sound. There was no engine. There was no noise. I was in the Air Force. I know what airplanes sound like, and there was no sound. I don't know what it was. Could have been a dead stick plane, you know, engine dead or something, but it came a long way with no engine. But we didn't talk about it anymore, and he didn't bring it up. I never asked him, did they come back yet over the years? I never asked him that. But that's the way it was. But that's the house where we met the Beatles.
Interesting, right? You've got Post Malone, Robbie Williams, Chester Bennington, Elvis, Demi Lovato, Lupe Fiasco. All of these very talented artists seem to be connected in some way or have had some experience with the phenomenon. I think there is something to that. That's just my own opinion, but I think creativity and inspiration and ideas come from somewhere special. That's what I think. We just had 5 memberships gifted from the Labrador Action Zone. Suki. Sorry, I've tried to get the dog up. Oh, there it is. He's got 5 memberships from the Labradors. What do you think about that? Okay, bit rude, but I did wake her up, so that's probably my fault. And Contra, there we go. You turn on your gifted memberships, and the good vibes come straight away. Guys, if you just received a membership from Labrador Action Zone, make sure you say thank you. Throw up some loves and hearts in the chat. And you guys all have access to members-only content, members section of our Discord as well. And you get a nice shiny badge next to your name to show everyone that you're a weirdo. Wear it with pride and honor. Suki's like, what the fuck? Yeah, show off those badges, guys. Kat Simpson flexing the highest badge in the community at the moment. Actually, the next badge after that one, Kat, is the 12-month badge. And I haven't even shown what that is yet. But there's only 2 more, 12 and 24 months. And they're both very spicy. Very spicy. My favorites. Let's keep it moving. We got a big one next. John Lennon. How could we do a video about famous celebrity UFO sightings without talking about John Lennon? One of the most influential and impactful artists of our time. So we're going to hear from John. It feels weird calling him on a first name basis. Oh, John from the Beatles. John Lennon. And, well, I'll let it play.
Over here, up there, I saw a UFO, and it went down the river, turned right at the United Nations, turned left, and then down the river. It wasn't a helicopter, it wasn't a balloon, and it was so near.
And it looked what, sort of round, white,
just
luminescent, and silent?
Silent, and it looked dark, like black or gray in the middle, and had white lights, just looked like light bulbs, you know? Just going off, on, blink, 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 round the bottom, and on top was a red light.
John Lennon's
another feature that we always hear, right? The lights going around, always hear it. By the way, I actually bought a keyboard this week, and I've been learning Imagine by John Lennon, and I'm really enjoying it. But the keyboard it's a humbling instrument, that's for sure.
apparent close encounter came at a time after he'd left the Beatles. He was living in New York City, fighting a U.S. government attempt to deport him. He was under surveillance by the FBI because of his left-wing political activities. And he was separated from his wife, Yoko Ono, living with his one-time assistant, May Pang, in a penthouse on East 52nd Street.
We were finishing up the Walls and Bridges album that John had been working on. And he decided to take a walk out on our terrace. And now, mind you, he is nude.
John clearly had a type, by the way.
But if John Lennon made quite a sight, it was nothing compared to what May Pang says they were both about to see for themselves.
And all of a sudden I hear him yelling out to me going, "May, come out here." So I go running out to the terrace, and I go, "What is it? I mean, what?" And I stopped, and I looked up, and I saw this saucer-like thing over our head, just going over us very, very slowly, like a snail. And as it was flying over us, it just sort of wavered. It just tilted, went on sort of on its side a little. And I'm screaming, "It's a UFO!" And there was no noise coming out of it. That's what was amazing. And it just hovered over this building for a good 5 minutes. It turned around and it moved out, and it just went straight up into the sky. We just watched it go straight up.
John Lennon didn't keep the sighting to himself. He called the police, and they told him they'd already gotten 3 calls. He called a newspaper, they'd gotten 6.
Wonder what happened to all those calls. Like, newspaper, radio stations, and nothing.
Within days, John Lennon was also on the phone to a radio station, where he spoke to all who were tuned in.
I just sort of turned round, and there was this thing about 100 foot away, and very low, below the height of the building, you know? And I was thinking, what is it? I think, it's a flying saucer. It must be a flying saucer. But you don't want to face it, you know? Even if you're a freak like me, you still want to think, oh, it's a balloon or something, you know?
But it was only...
John Lennon is a self-confessed freak. My man, he would have been one of us.
Recently, that a radio show producer in another city got hold of the tape and decided to explore its implications.
The John Lennon story is so convincing. 71% of Americans do not believe that the government is telling them the truth about UFOs.
This is an envelope that I saved over the years, since 1974.
This is cool.
A picture that John actually drew, and it's his version, it's his drawing of what this saucer looked like. So here's the white lights all around, and here.
She's really got that like Jersey, New York sort of accent. Hey, it's like it's just not what you expect. It's kind of throwing me a little bit. Actually, speaking of that accent, do you know who nearly made the show today, but I couldn't find her speaking about it? Fran Drescher, the nanny. Fran Fine. She believes that she has an implant in her hand and that she has been like fully channeled and contacted by extraterrestrials, and that her ex-husband is the same. And they fully believe that like they have some weird connecting story there. But I could only find like newspaper reports about it. I couldn't find her talking about it. But yeah, look it up. Fran Drescher, UFOs, or Fran Drescher aliens. And yeah, that's she thinks she's got an implant in her hand.
There was the bright red steady light on top.
There you go. That's John Lennon's interview. John Lennon's sketch of what he saw from his building in New York.
And here's where the story takes a twist into the unknown. It was shortly after the sighting and completion of the Walls and Bridges album that John Lennon reunited with Yoko Ono and retired from the music business and public life for 5 years. Shortly after he reemerged with a new album and a new vision, he was murdered.
Rest in peace, John. Rest in peace. One of the best, one of the greatest. Still listen to his music regularly. Yeah, a few people in the chat before were putting up the lyrics for Imagine. Great song. Lots of great songs from himself and the Beatles. The nanny made me a man. I'm sure the nanny made many boys men in the early 90s, Sam. Polarity appeared in my feed when Josh did a video on UFOs in Perth. There were maybe 11,000 subscribers then. That wasn't that long ago. I wonder when he'll hit 50K. Who knows? Who bloody knows? But yeah, I remember that video in Perth. That was a wild one. Very, very interesting. Paul was definitely replaced. Oh, you conspiracy theorists. You bloody conspiracy theorists. You do my head in. No, I'm kidding. He probably was. All right, let's keep moving. This next one. This is Tom DeLonge. Now, this is the only clip that is audio only. But I thought it was worth including because it's a pretty interesting experience. And it actually is something that like has kind of happened to me too, which I'll tell you about afterwards. And maybe some of you guys wouldn't have heard of this, so check this out.
We went out on to go film, and it was...
Sorry, it's low. Let me give you guys some gain. That should do it.
Part of this documentary for the Secret Machines project, and we wanted to go out and start collecting footage. So we were on our way out to what's known as the NTS, or Nevada Test Site. You are the person who kind of told the entire world about the existence of Area 51. I mean, for anyone listening, if you know the term Area 51, George here is the one that taught you it. But that's not the only base out there. There's a lot of bases out there. There's a few bases, out west of there, and one was called China Lake. And we were trying to get our way out there, but it was too far of a drive at the time, so we decided to pull off the road outside of China Lake, and we were probably 100 miles from any gas station. I mean, we were somewhere on the fringes of Death Valley, but all I know is that we were off-roading for quite a while until we found a valley to camp in. And so I've done it a few other times for fun, and we have to go backwards a little bit. There was an individual that was very prominent in the UFO field for a while, and he was kind of all the rage, and he came up with this whole concept.
For a while, Tom's kind of throwing shade at Grand Maester Greer. I wonder how Grand Maester Greer would feel about hearing that now.
Concept that the UFOs themselves or any advanced civilization was going to speak to or communicate on the level of consciousness, the frequency of consciousness. They're not going to be using AM, FM radios or whatever. So he had this whole concept that if you meditate and you do a certain protocol when you meditate, these things can show up. And I didn't know what to believe at the time, but I did meet a few professors from universities that were working with this guy, and they told me directly, "Oh my God, we've seen landings and stuff." And I was like, "Really? You really?" So we would go out there. I took a couple buddies out there, and we would have fun and not really be sober, but we wanted to try it out either. Nothing ever really happened for us. But on this camping trip, we said, "Let's do it again." And so you're not doing anything. You're in the middle of the desert. So we tried it, and I remember when right before we start this meditative kind of the protocol, it's step by step. You got to do certain things. I remember telling them, "Okay, I don't think anything's going to happen necessarily. We should try this, but if anything does happen, it's going to happen at 3 a.m. And the two guys that were with me were like, "Why 3?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's just what time it always happens. If you read about people that have like abductions, or if they have sightings, or anything that's weird at night with this phenomenon, somehow it always happens around that time, or a lot of the time it does." So we go through like a couple hours of this meditation, nothing happens, and then finally we're like, "Okay, it's time to go to bed," So we all cram into this tent in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we are in the middle of nowhere, and the fire's still going on outside the tent, so it's kind of all illuminated in there. So you get the sleeping bags, right? Say a few dumb jokes, and we go to sleep. I wake
Suki's trying to eat the cake.
Up, and I hear hundreds of people talking around the tent, like so many voices. I can't make out anything. It was a chorus of voices. Then all of a sudden this thought enters my mind instantly. Oh, it's just a bunch of special ops soldiers on some multi-day hike coming through our tent area. Everything's cool. We're good. And I close my eyes, open back up. The fire's out. A couple hours have passed, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" So I woke everybody up first thing in the morning, super early, and I was like, "Oh my God, did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear all those voices?" And one guy was like, "No, not at all. I slept fine." But the other guy was like, "Yes, I heard people talking all around our tent."
All right, so let's talk about that. Yeah, I fixed up Suki's camera, and now I don't know what she's doing. She's just keeping clean. That's how she stays shiny. Bro, we need to have this conversation about religion, structure of mind control versus spirituality. It's funny you say that, Dope, because I kind of spoke about that in my latest members only video. The one I showed off the merch that I've got so far, and I also talked about my own experience with religion and why I think it is, kind of like you said, like a bit of just a control structure, and that everything you can kind of get from religion, or everything you look for in religion, you can find yourself. I really do believe that. I think heaven and hell is a state of being. It's a state of your own mind. And that heaven and hell is here on earth. But it just depends on how you see it, what your state of mind is. That's just my opinion. $20 from my man James. $20 for 20K. May polarity reach for the pillars of creation. Hey, bro, that means you got to throw 100 for 100K. No, I'm just kidding, man. Thank you, though. $20 is huge, and I really appreciate that, dude. And I always see you in the live streams too, James, so thank you for all the support. Tom dropped off the face of the earth, and Greer just talks about the same shit for years, never brought anything new. Okay, while we're here, I've been wanting to talk about this. Oh, Dope, you don't need to apologize, brother. You only just got a membership, didn't you? So I wouldn't have expected you to seen it, but definitely go check it out. while we're here, let's talk about the fact. Actually, we're not going to go too deep on this because I want to go deep on it one day, but it's a whole thing. And I think when I go deep on it, like I will be forced to say things that ruffle feathers. And we're having a party where the vibes are good. We're just having fun. We don't need to ruffle feathers on this stream. But I will ruffle them when the time comes. But let's just not forget that Stephen Greer, it does seem like he is likely, no, I'm not going to say an Israeli intelligence asset, but there is clearly some kind of ties to Israel and the intelligence area. That being said, I think he says a lot of truth. But let's not forget that it's kind of becoming very clear each day that America has been compromised and blackmailed by Israel. Right? I may have already ruffled feathers by saying that. I'm not going to say any more than that. But what I'm obviously referring to is like the Epstein thing, right? I think it's quite clear the reason why the government can't produce this list is because like they've been blackmailed, like they're on it. Or if they release it, some videos are going to get released. Like it's quite clear that the American government are compromised and something has got them by the balls. And I think it's Israel, personally. And again, if you're Jewish, if you're Israeli, relax, sit down, sit back in your seat, take a deep breath. I'm not having a go at you, brother or sister. Okay, you're not the Israeli intelligence agencies. We've all got to come from some country. So it's nothing to do with any of us. We're all on the same team. But I think that's quite obvious. And Stephen Greer has links to Israeli intelligence. And don't forget that, like, you know, all of the guys who are part of the disclosure scene, like the CIA people, Lou Elizondo, whatever, that are from America, all seem to hate him. And like Lou Elizondo specifically, openly like shits on him. So there's clearly, it's like, don't you guys have the same goal? Aren't you both fighting for the same thing? Why do you hate each other? Maybe it's because one of them is connected to a organization that has blackmailed the other one. Makes sense to me. But that's just my opinion. Do your own research, of course. The next one, just before we do, a $20 super chat from Matt Disney. Josh, have you looked into the binary star system theory? I came across it a little while back on Jesse Michaels' podcast. He interviews Matt LaCroix and he brings it up. The Pioneer probes finding something. Congrats on 20K. Thank you, bro. Thank you for the 20 and thank you for the support. I don't know if I've seen that. When you say Pioneer probes, are you talking like I don't know what that is. I've heard of like a von Neumann probe, and I think that is like a pretty a theory that's like has a lot of weight to it. I do think there's something to that concept for sure, but I don't know what a Pioneer probe is. Pioneer and Voyager. No, it must be something I don't know about, man. So I'll have to check that out. Thank you for letting me know. Let's keep moving. Next up, we have Dan. Oh, wait, I didn't even tell you guys about my experience with what Tom DeLonge was talking about. So I've had a experience where I woke up in a sleep paralysis state, but not with fear. And it's weird. It was like, I don't know if you guys have had this before where like, it feels like I was awake in a dream state because of the way I could see things. But basically I woke up, this is when I lived in a small apartment with just my girlfriend. And I felt like I woke up or I was awake, but I couldn't move. I wasn't scared. And I could see, but I don't actually know if it was my eyes, but I was looking from my point of view in my bedroom, but it was like all the lights were kind of on. Like the lights were on and there was light coming from the lounge room, like shining into our bedroom. And I could hear so many voices, exactly like what Tom DeLonge explained. And it's the only time I've ever heard anyone else say something like this. But I could hear so many voices and it sounded like they were speaking English, but I couldn't make out a word they were saying. And there was like you know, it sounded like 20 people all talking over each other, like a party. So again, you know, I didn't get probed. I didn't get abducted. You know, nothing happened, but just that's all that happened. And I woke up obviously and asked my girlfriend, "Did you hear anything last night?" And she said no, she didn't. And that was the same place where I had a spontaneous OBE as well. I was meditating before bed, and then at some point in my stream, in my dream, I left my body for like 3 or 4 seconds, and as soon as I realized what was happening, I just shit myself because I was like, "What is this?" And like everyone says, it was exactly like everyone says. The moment I freaked out, it was like whoosh, straight back in. As soon as you panic, straight back in the body. Exactly how people explain it. All right, next up we have Dan Aykroyd. I didn't know. Yeah, is this guy like he's like an actor, I think. Hit me up in the chat. Who is Dan Aykroyd? But he has an interesting story.
I've seen 4.
Right.
That, you know, I've seen 4. So 2 in a high altitude sighting and 1 fairly close at the farm a couple of years ago. And then 1 really, really weird one in Montreal the 2013.
He's a Ghostbuster? How do I not know? Brother. Yeah. People think I'm joking when I say I haven't seen shit. I'm not kidding. I don't watch movies. I don't really watch shows. Okay, I have the autism where like I like Harry Potter and I like Game of Thrones, so I'll just watch that over and over, okay? I'm not really interested in trying new things. I'll just watch Harry Potter and Game of Thrones.
Floor of the Queen Elizabeth Hotel. I'm sitting there with some friends and I see this. It looked like an air mattress, but 100 feet long by 50 feet wide, tipped over with the bulbs on the bottom, and it was moving slowly, you know, and just it stopped and then it turned and it went out over the river and we were going, what's that thing, you know? Look, MUFON, MUFON.com.
What did I do as a kid? I played video games, dude. I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 for 700 hours.
You want to get on there, there's sightings every week. There's pictures, photographs. People have cameras now. Lord Hill Norton, who was a British Defense Staff executive, said that we're being visited by 23 different species in 23 different kinds of ships. You know, I'm not alone in this. You know, this is, you know, there's aviator, the Lawrence Rockefeller, the great philanthropist. He would watch these things come down and park in front of his house up in Kykwit here, up the Hudson River. And they would wink at him, and he finally had to say, what are these things? And so he did a study, the Rockefeller report, and he went around basically paid some investigators to go around to sheriffs and law enforcement and pilots and get their stories. And if you want to Google a good one, Fortenberry Nash, Miami Herald, 19...
Yeah, guys, we are going to be watching a movie after this live stream. We've got a few more clips left, but there shouldn't be too much longer. We're going to be watching a movie, and I'm going to put a few suggestions on a spinning wheel. I think we might do a spinning wheel to pick the movie, or we'll just do a poll in the chat. And it's going to be Terminator 1, Paul, and we can maybe put like 1 or 2 others on there as well. But I kind of really want to watch one of those 2. I'm not going to lie.
47. They saw 8 discs. They were flying a Capital Airlines plane from Miami, and it made the Miami papers. You know, so there's thousands and thousands of people have seen. John Mack was a Harvard psychiatrist who was studying the concept of abductions when he died, and he wrote a book about it called Abduction. And there's a great movie about what he was working on at the end of his life. It's called The Aerial Phenomenon, and there were some school kids in Zambia, and they went out for recess. There were about 40 of them, and 2 orbs landed with creatures, and they came out and interacted with the children. And when they came back into class, they were animated, they were excited, they were disturbed, and the parents and the teachers were, what happened out there? So now they've gone back 20 years later to re-interview these witnesses, and it's really a compelling piece of evidence, quite striking.
Dan Aykroyd owns a vodka company. The vodka bottles design like skulls. Oh, I've seen them. I've seen those. Interesting. That's his company. I didn't know that. Right, so this guy's like pretty deep on the law. He knows his stuff. Interesting. He does sound like he did sound like he knew his stuff, to be fair. Contact is a great movie. Josh should probably enjoy Ghostbusters. I mean, like, yeah, isn't like Ghostbusters kind of like a cheesy movie? I don't know. I'm actually thinking about planning for August, which is very soon, which is crazy, by the way. I feel like it was January yesterday. I'm thinking about doing like a wild marathon for August where we have a movie on. We do one movie every single day for August, and I've already got a list long enough to do that. I've seen none of them. Surprise. But 24/7, we're going to have something streaming. So I'm thinking we're going to have the X-Files, all seasons, streaming 1 week. Stargate SG-1, all seasons streaming just like back-to-back 24/7 in Discord the next week. The next week, what other show did I have? Oh, Ancient Aliens will be streaming for a whole other week back-to-back. And there was something else. There's one more week we can fill. So if anyone knows a really great show, Game of Thrones. Yeah, well, and the last week will be Harry Potter and Game of Thrones just on repeat, and it'll just be me in the stream. No, so that'll be in Discord. It's not fully confirmed yet, but that's what's rolling around up here right now. So I think, Dan Aykroyd mentioned Lord Admiral Hill Norton in that clip. So for those of you who don't know who this guy is, I thought it was worth including because he's not really a celebrity, but he was a 5-star admiral, right? They don't even make them anymore. Well, so they say, but apparently they don't do 5 stars anymore. This guy was. So let's take a listen to what someone of this caliber, a lord, we were just talking about Game of Thrones. This guy's an actual lord and an admiral and a 5-star and a Hill Norton.
It seems to me that the Bentwaters incident is a classic case where an apparent intrusion into our airspace, and indeed a landing in our country, was witnessed by serious-minded people in the military, responsible people doing a responsible job. And Bentwaters is, in a sense, a benchmark for how not to deal with these matters in the future. And what I have decided, after careful thought,
maybe V. Maybe V. I haven't checked out anything about that, but I know that show V from the 80s is like all up on the modern reptilian lore. Like where we're at right now with reptilians and the lore, apparently this show V is like all over it. So I need to look into that. But I'm feeling like that could be a good contender because y'all know I like my reptilians.
I have said it in public more than once before. There are only 2 explanations for what happened that night in Suffolk. The first is that what the people concerned, including Colonel Holt, who was at the time the deputy commander of the base, and a lot of his soldiers, or airmen, they claim that something from outside the Earth's atmosphere landed at their Air Force base. They went and stood by it. They inspected it. They photographed it. The following day, they took tests on the ground where it had been and found radioactive traces. They reported this. Colonel Holt wrote a memorandum, which was sent to our Ministry of Defense. He has appeared on British television at least once, to my knowledge, possibly more often, in which he has repeated, effectively, what he said in that memorandum. And what he said is what I have just described. That is one explanation, that it actually happened, as Colonel Holt reported. The other explanation is that it didn't. And in that case, one is bound to assume that Colonel Holt and all his men were hallucinating. My position is perfectly clear. Either of those explanations is of the utmost defense interest. It has been reported and claimed, and I myself have raised it with ministers at the defense ministry in this country, who deny that anything they have been informed is of defense interest. Surely, to any sensible person, either of those explanations must be, cannot fail to be, of defense interest. That the colonel of an American Air Force base in Suffolk and his merry men are hallucinating when there are nuclear-armed aircraft on the base.
No, they were just getting hazed. It was just a trick. The 5-star Admiral Lord just didn't realize that it was just a trick, bit of ritualistic frat boy hazing by the military.
Must be of defence interest. If indeed what he says took place did take place, and why on earth should he make it up, then surely the entry of a vehicle from outer space, certainly not man-made, to a defence base in this country also cannot fail to be of defence interest. And it simply isn't any good. Ministers, and the Ministry of Defence in particular, saying that nothing that took place that December night in Suffolk is of defence interest. It simply isn't true. Since my name has become connected with UFO matters in quite a big way in the
You know that this guy has his pinky out when he drinks. 100% this guy has his pinky out when he drinks.
this country, and in one or two other countries too, I have frequently been asked by a person of my background, a former chief of the defense staff, a former chairman of the NATO military committee, why I think there is a cover-up, or what the reasons may be for governments wishing to cover up the facts about UFOs. And
Pinky skyward? 100%.
A number of explanations have often been put forward, of which the most frequent and perhaps the most plausible is that the governments concerned, which are primarily that of the United States and that of my own country.
So does Spanion? Does he? Bit of proper años. Pop the pinky, does he? That's hilarious.
Believe that if they told the truth, which is that there are objects in our atmosphere which are technically miles in advance of anything that we can deploy, that we have no means of stopping them coming here, and that we have no defense against them should they be hostile, that, I believe, is because governments fear that if they did disclose those facts, people would panic. People would rush about, jam the switchboard like they did on that famous day in New York when there was a spoof, Martians have landed. People will go mad and they'll jump up and down. I don't believe that at all. I've said so in print. I've said it in a foreword I wrote to one of Timothy Good's books. I do not believe that people today, in the 21st century, are going to panic at that sort of information.
Well, Lord Admiral Hill Norton, I feel like you said that before COVID happened. I feel like you said that before you couldn't even buy toilet paper because there was a flu going around. So, with all due respect, Lord Admiral Hill Norton, I think people would freak the fuck out. Unfortunately. I mean, I wouldn't. I would be there. I would be there going, I told you reptilians were real. I told you. But I think most people would be clearing out the supermarkets and building doomsday bunkers. Unfortunately, I do think that is the reality of the situation. But that may also be why this disclosure, question marks, no, quotations, is such a slow process, because maybe, positive thinking, they're trying to drip it so slowly that people just get desensitized enough to not clear the toilet paper out of Woolies when they say reptilians are real. Hopefully like our community finds out a little bit in advance before the normies do, and we can clear the toilet paper out. And we can stick it to them. Remember COVID? Yeah, it's our turn now. I'm stocking up and I'm selling them $20 a roll on Marketplace, baby. What are you going to do? You're going to shit in your hands? No, you're going to pay up. Sorry, that was a bit far. Let's keep moving. Jay Smith says, who the fuck still uses toilet paper? Well, I think Admiral Hill Norton certainly uses a bidet. He would be pinky out with the bidet for sure. Sorry. Let's keep moving. The show's already quite long. All right, next one. This came out today, I believe. This is Dave Foley talking about his experience with a UFO after hanging out with Jeremy Corbell.
We've had a chance to have a lot of conversations about UFOs on this program and then privately, just being friends. And you guys had a sighting not too far from the cabin here up in the mountains, right?
Yeah, after I'd done the first, after the first time I'd been on Weaponized with you guys. Yeah, then.
Oh, he uses baby wipes. Look out. Far out. Look, I have used baby wipes before, and they actually are fantastic. So I won't, you know, I won't rip on you too much because they feel great. They feel great. But I will say you can't beat a bidet, 100%.
Hanging with Jeremy, and we saw a very distinctly a large orangey gold craft.
You were in by that point.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
How did it reinforce what you already thought? Did it change it in any way?
Yeah, Heidi knows the baby wipes. Yep.
And part of it was that feeling of, oh no, now people are just gonna say, oh, he's only saying this because he's a UFO nut who claims he's seen a UFO. But yeah, it did definitely. It removed any lingering doubt I had that this was real. You know, when you see something like the thing we saw, and this, you know, I remember, you know, and this, you know, always the case when you describe it. Like I remember someone said, well, what you probably saw was the interior lighting of the wheel well of a passing jet.
Yeah, of the passing Chinese lantern powered by swamp gas aligned with Venus. It makes far more sense that that's what he saw. Yeah, the stature of both of these guys, they're really displaying some interesting body language here. Corbell with the big, what did you call it, Tommy? The shit kicker boots on the table. And Foley, Dave Foley's, he's laxed. He is laxed.
I'm going, well, I think I would have heard the jet part, you know, and but it's like, so you get all these insane explanations. Those things were, we were just out there in this field or out on the road in, you know, in the middle of the countryside, surrounded by like orange groves, you know, and it was such a beautiful night. And again, from where we were, I could see all the commercial air traffic in the distance, and it just seemed like, you know, here we are, you've dedicated your adult life to this, and I'm deep into this all of a sudden. And that, you know, neither of us has ever seen anything.
We're lucky to have seen it.
And I thought, I said, well, this would be a great night to see something. And then 30 seconds later, I didn't get to see it come.
And the chain reaction of that moment with you and what that did, you said last night to me and George, so funny, you're like, seems like they're micromanaging. I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, no, it does feel that way. I mean, as a result, and again, what we're talking about obliquely will be public soon. But it does feel like that moment of you and I, because you and I, you know, I mean, I would not have done a podcast if you and I hadn't seen that that craft, because we saw it, and I thought, well, look, I should talk about this I should go on Twitter and talk about it, because in my mind, I thought a lot of people see stuff and they're afraid to talk about it.
Yes.
And maybe if I talk about it, other people will feel less afraid, or at least feel less crazy or less alone.
That's it. That's it, Dave. Eventually, it's going to get so weird that we're going to have to talk about how weird it is. And my man Dave Foley is doing it.
And so I got on, and what happened was like literally thousands of people started interacting with me and telling their experiences, some very similar to ours.
See, this is what I'm saying, guys. This is what I'm saying, right? Like, one thing that I noticed when I started this channel is that, like, it seems like so many more people than you realize, and I'm talking to you, each and every one of you, so many more people than you realize have seen something, have experienced something weird, have been through some weird shit, but no one talks about it. And when they see someone like me talking about it, they tell me, which is great. I love that you feel comfortable to do that. But know that you're all walking around going, oh, I can't talk about that. I can't say that. You're all doing it. You've all seen it. You've all experienced it. You're just all like indoctrinated, and it's not your fault, that like you can't talk about it, that it's like taboo, that it's crazy. No, that's just what the mainstream shit tells you on the news, when in reality, we're all here experiencing this weird shit, thinking we can't tell each other about it, but we're all thinking it, and we've all had something weird happen. I'm telling you, you're far less alone than you realize. Just look at my inboxes and emails.
So, similar craft?
Well, that's similar, but the similar experience, like to me, like that similar experience of
talking about it.
Talking about it shows up, and then feeling like the craft was interacting with us in a way that it was, like that they felt like their responses didn't feel normal, didn't feel like they were responding properly to what they were saying.
That you were responding properly to what you were saying.
Yeah, that it wasn't. Yeah. Oh, and again, so I have no emotional connection to the event in our lives.
Yeah.
I just have a very clear, rational sense of what I saw.
Yeah, it was astounding. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just
And it's
incontrovertible moment.
Yeah, and that triggered me talking publicly about it. Triggered me starting to do the UFO podcast, and
he was a UFO skeptic.
Yeah, was it Tommy? Yeah, you made a good point. When they show up, it's going to break people, even some who claim they understand. I totally agree, bro. I totally agree. I'm not going to act like a hero. I feel like when I come face to face with a reptilian or, a gray or whatever, even just a UFO, I feel like my legs might shake a little bit, for sure. For sure. There's a difference between like believing and knowing, right? And I can't remember who has the great example, but I think it might even be Tom DeLonge who says it, where he says like, you can have a devout Christian who believes in God, prays every day, goes to church her whole life. But if a big white portal appears in your bedroom and Jesus steps out and goes, "Hey, I'm finally here," she's not going to go, "Oh, bloody hell, you're 10 minutes late. Where have you been, Jesus?" She's probably going to literally defecate all over her bed and cry, because there's a difference between believing and knowing. And I actually think that's probably more what encounters will be like when they actually happen. 100%. Once you get your mind to a higher frequency, you can talk to them whenever you want or need to. Interesting. Do you feel like you can do that? You feel like you can talk to them whenever you want to? I definitely think there's a way to tap in, for sure. 50 years of experiences since age 9, Mish. Wow. You'll have to tell me about some of those. In private, of course. What will they do when they find out he is an insectaloid? God, the way these names kind of like change and grow is funny. It's hilarious. All right, we have 2 clips left, guys. We're coming towards the end of the show now. Start thinking of some fun movies. This one isn't necessarily a UFO or a ghost, but it's Keanu Reeves, and he's a G, and I really like Keanu Reeves. Again, he's one of the good guys, comes across like a nice dude. And it's an interesting story, so I thought I'd include it.
Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
In Hawaii?
No, it was in New York.
Really?
It was cool.
What happened?
Okay, quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like a little kid. I'm probably like 6, 7 years old, in a new apartment, and we just come from, where did we come from? We had come from probably Australia.
Yo, how's the energy shift on him? I've never seen like Keanu talk like that. He's always just like low-key solemn and just like very like calm and calculated. He just like perked up. He just got like he just mainlined some caffeine.
Anyway, so Renata, nanny, in the bedroom. She's sitting, my sister's asleep. She's sitting over there. I'm like hanging out. There's a doorway.
The hype is real.
All of a sudden, we're looking over there, and this like jacket comes waving through the doorway. Like just an empty, there's no head, there's no body, there's no legs. It's just there, and then it disappears. And I was a little kid, and I thought, okay, well, that's interesting. And then I looked over at the nanny, and she's like this. And I'm like, oh, wow, so that was real. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Cool.
I didn't.
But is that a ghost, or is that just some weird floating jacket?
That's a reason to move
thing?
to me. I don't know what it is, but.
Just a quick one I thought we'd include there. Pretty interesting. It's one of those things. It's like a weird story. It's like if you're going to make up a story, you're probably not going to say there was a floating jacket. So, when you get those like weird little like off stories, I'm more inclined to believe them because it's like bro, if you're gonna make up a lie, I'm sure you'd make up a much better one than a floating jacket. Keanu's on Ancient Apocalypse. Yes, he is actually. I remember that. I remember seeing that. That's one thing that I have seen. You never saw Bill and Ted? Nope. Nope. Like I said, I haven't seen many things. Point Break was pretty good. That I have seen. That is a really cool movie. I do like Point Break. Very, very cool. Keanu is a cool dude because he's Canadian. Dude, Canadians are sick. Canadians are like American Aussies, but way more polite. I know, actually, Australians are pretty polite too. We just like have like foul language very liberally. But that's normal to us. But I understand it like comes across as kind of rough to other people. But Canadians are so lovely. I lived there for 9 months, and I would bump into someone and they would apologize to me, which was strange and unnecessary. All right, last clip from another absolute genius, creative guru, way, way ahead of his time. I must say, I'm not like the big... I mean, I like his music. I don't really put it on. But I like him as a person, and I love his mind. I love listening to him in the interviews that he's done. And that is... He's actually featured on the channel before. David Bowie. And this is a cool clip. It's really not about a personal experience. It's just him. It's a short clip talking about, I guess, sort of like religion, aliens, and like what he thinks about all of it.
There was a wonderful story I read somewhere about you going to Kyoto and someone telling you that something about organized religion is of the past and that this is going to come through people like you.
Well, I'm not sure that he quite meant people like me, but I think he felt. Yes, it was a Zen teacher at a temple that I like a lot in Kyoto, and he's not often there. I usually see a lot of the other masters who are there, but we were fortunate enough to have lunch with them last time we were there, and it was most peculiar. Out of nowhere, he suddenly said, "Religion is over."
This bit.
And it lies in the arts, that the information and spiritual life will be in the vessel of the visual and the musical art, which I thought was quite...
I'm telling you, the creative people, some of the creative people in this world are tapped into something special.
Stunning comment from this 70-year-old Zen master. I'm not sure that I have his optimism. Oh, I agree with that. I agree with you there, absolutely. I think people are letting go of the idea of I can't remember who the philosopher was, but in the early part of the century, he said that we have to kill God to reinvent him. And I think that is very much playing itself out in the later part of this century. I think we have to find the focus of where our religious strength lies in an entirely different area from the archaic and almost medieval forms that we're sort of expected to supplant ourselves to. Yeah, I agree there, but I think we're...
Holy shit, Suki is fighting a reptilian. She just won.
Finding the materials of a new religion, but I think we have to find and develop a new kind of discipline. I think there is no real sense of purpose without a shaping of fragments. I think we have the fragments and the pieces of a new way, a new way. But I think we have to construct a path out of those pieces. I think we have the bits of concrete, and it's merely crazy paving at the moment. But we have to develop a form. Presumably, that's what we'll be doing in our new millennium: is developing the form. We have the material.
What a man! What a man! What a mind! Like I said, I love listening to David Bowie. I feel like he was just so ahead of his time. I love listening to him speak. Music's cool too. Not exactly my flavor, but I massively appreciate it and I respect it. And yeah, I agree, Mish. A very enlightened man tapped into something special, for sure. By the way, I missed a $2 super chat from James Anthony. I apologize, James. He says, the reptilians and their greys want to have souls. Certainly seems something like that is going on. And you know, who is it that said, well, I think a few people have said it actually, that we are just the containers for souls? What are they? Are they the ones that put the souls in? I don't know. Are they the consciousness stream? Hey, there's a theory. If we're valuable to them as containers, is our intelligence streamed in from something else? Like, is our stream of consciousness non-human? And what is human about us is our bodies, but that intelligence stream that is coming through us is something else. We're tapping into something else, perhaps. Or maybe there's a bit of both. You know, maybe people who... Actually, no. That doesn't need to be said. Guys, what we're going to do when the chat catches up here, we are going to run a poll on what movie we're going to go watch in Discord. Now, like I said, I would really like to watch Terminator or Paul. However, if you guys have any good suggestions for a third or fourth movie, I will add it to the wheel. Should we do a wheel? Yeah, let's do a wheel because a wheel is fun. We've got Paul. We've got Terminator 1. What else have we got, chat? Terminator 1. Coneheads. Oh, what have I just done? I don't know if I want to watch a movie called Coneheads. I think I have seen the pictures of it. I don't know if I'm going to add that one to the wheel, though. Not tonight. Not tonight. Maybe another time. Maybe in our movie marathon that we do, we can chuck that one in. What else have we got? Truman Show. We watched that recently. Not in Discord though, but I did watch it. Guys, if you haven't joined the Discord yet, by the way, it's linked below. So go and do that now. And you can join for free, but if you're a member, you get your own little section. Just like Krista Bell 76 is about to get. Where can we put this? Welcome, Krista. You're our latest little freak. Congratulations. Can we see some love and hearts in the chat there for our latest and greatest? All right, we're organized. We are. Can we get any other names? Okay, Lucy. I've never heard of it though. I need. The movie has to be something that I've at least heard of, so I know what's going on. Are we back? Are we back? Can I get a we back in chat if we are actually back? Back. Okay. All right. I don't know what happened there. My whole software that I do the stream with just crashed. It completely died. So I apologize for that. The stream's nearly over too. We just need some movie names. All right. We're back. How do I join Discord? The link is in the description. That should auto join you to our server. The Abyss. Oh, that's a great movie, but we watched that recently. That was the first movie we watched, actually. Hey, Josh, discovered you a couple months ago. Love what you do and a fellow Aussie to boot. Thank you, Krista, and welcome. Thank you for joining the Members Club as well. Appreciate the support. All right, look, I'm just going to spin this wheel because we've been here a long time. All right, I'm going to spin this wheel. We're going to do this. It's either Paul or Terminator. Oh, it's Terminator. Guys, thank you for hanging out tonight. I hope you've had fun. I certainly have. I've had a great time. I appreciate you all being here. Cheers to 20K. We're on to 30 next. Be good. Be kind. Join the Discord. Hopefully I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thank you.
Eventually people are going to say, what the hell is going on?
No matter how far you go into the dark, when you flip, you go exactly the same place to the light in our galaxy. Everything. Because everything is in balance. Everything is a polarity.
I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and finally it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is.